A person who never made a mistake, never tried anything new. Albert Einstein.
Oh.
Good old Al coming through with the advice.
He made a lot of mistakes, huh?
He did, and he came to some incredible, accomplishments and discoveries because
Never would
of it.
have without those mistakes.
It's true. Yo, math is, mathy.
Mistakes
are bound to happen.
Right. Yeah. Especially when you're creating new ways of doing something, when you're pioneering.
That's a good word.
A field like that. Or if you're making a new method or procedure or trying something new, it's going to be full of stumbles.
Yes.
And that's a good thing. We need that. That's necessary so you learn from those things.
It's so hard, though, because I feel like society paints this picture where it really upholds and celebrates success, as it should, but in turn it kind of glosses over the process, which involves a lot of failure.
Yeah. Well, especially when you have you parallel things to the capitalist structure that we're also ingrained in, where failure isn't really a good thing.
Yeah.
They don't really match up life and capitalism as well as we pretend they do.
We're here.
Yeah.
And Albert Einstein was here to tell you, mistakes are necessary. Also, our cats are running around like madmen. Anyway.
Hello!
And welcome back to another episode of
Positivity.
This is the feel-good podcast where we bring you good vibes by the spoonful.
Oh.
Delicious.
Yes.
I am your host, Miss Mary Lou Ryan.
And I'm also your host, Jacob Kahn.
Wow. And today, we are back for podcast number 24.
That is a number, huh?
I know, yeah. It's a number that's higher than I thought it was.
That's a half year. We're at the half year mark, right? That's 6 months?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
I mean, we've had a couple weeks missing here and there,
right.
But other than that, we've been going, I think we started just after my surgery in October.
A little longer than 6. Yeah, jeez.
Yeah, cheers.
Yeah, cheers. It's quite a while we've been doing this, which is, feels good.
It does. It does feel really good. And speaking of good, so we're drinking this tea today.
Yes.
I had a doctor's appointment this morning, and Jacob was like, "What kind of tea do you want?" And all I said was, "Something black." And he picked this one out, and then we just brewed a whole other pot of it later. This is a black tea, of course, with passion fruit, rose, lavender, and fresh bergamot in it.
Oh, lordy lord.
Oh, lordy lord.
It's delicious.
Oh, my goodness
There's so
gracious.
much going on in this tea, too.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many flavor notes, and they blend really nicely.
Yeah, and my palate's not confused or
it.
at all. It's really enjoying. I can teach it. I remember I took a sip. It's been a while since I had this tea, and I was like, "Is that passion fruit?"
I'll take another sip.
Because I can taste lavender, I can taste the rose, and the bergamot, which is fresher, does have that citrus essence to it. But the passion fruit is definitely there.
All of the flavors kind of sit in a different place in my mouth.
Yeah.
So I get them all at the same time. It's like this little ship of flavor.
It's a ship.
And I didn't know that they all worked together so well. A little flavor crew.
To set sail on the awesome ocean of my mouth.
Yeah, and down the river of my esophagus.
Okay, and that's where we're going to stop that.
On into the pond of my
journey.
stomach.
Okay. So Jacob.
Right into the waterfall that is my colon. Let's not do this.
Gracious.
Kid-friendly, right? Kid-friendly.
Hey, Jacob.
Yeah.
Colon is a kid-friendly term.
Yeah, you're right. And waterfalls are kid-friendly metaphors.
I've been trying to move on to the next segment. I've been trying to do segues along before we got anywhere near the colon. Okay. So Jacob.
Yes.
Last week for your self-care experiment, you talked about concentrating on looking forward instead of constantly looking back. Can you explain a little bit in context what this means for the people?
Well, you tend to, as a human, think about things that happened that you're not a huge fan of, you'd like to change. Yeah. You have regrets as a human in this world, but think about it. That's not very helpful as far as trying to be productive and change things for the better. So, not that you need to be ashamed or feel guilty for having regrets. That's only natural. But to try and shift focus away from that and more on what can I do to change the future by acting different in the present. So looking from here forward and not looking back.
So how's that been going this week?
Yeah, it's just a work in progress.
It's hard, huh? It's
It's just one of those. It's one of those self-care experiments, and I feel like I've done a few of these now, where I'm trying to retrain my brain to acknowledge a thought when it just crops up, and to say that's what that is, and let's try and do something else right now. Let's consciously focus on not thinking about that thing that I can't change.
Yeah.
And instead, I'm thinking about something that I can.
Yeah,
So.
just changing your brain's like default mode,
Yeah.
I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Which is hard. It takes a little bit of rewiring. But
Yeah.
you're doing good.
Yeah, it's been going all right. I'm working on it steadily, day by day, but
Well,
it's helping.
Yeah, that's good. And practicing it and reeling your brain back in to where you want it to be
Right.
is an important part of that whole journey.
Totes
Thoughts.
me guts.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mary, last week you were trying to be empathetic towards yourself in the way that you might towards a child, and trying to think about how you would encourage and comfort a child when thinking about the way that you're feeling and trying to help yourself. How's that been?
This week it's been going well, I think. I had another difficult week this week for other reasons.
Yeah.
It was less of an emotionally taxing week and more of a physically taxing week. I have chronic fatigue and a bunch of other chronic conditions that also involve feeling fatigue. And that was hard. And then I had a migraine this week, which made the fatigue even worse because just like between the pain and the meds, you're just worn out. And so I was like down for the count for like 4 days.
Yeah.
And it's so easy for me to be hard on myself in those kinds of situations, which is silly, but it's been ingrained in me for a long time. When I was experiencing these things for the first time growing up, I had certain conditions kind of hammered in to my psyche, and I'm trying to be nice, you know? If someone's experiencing something physically they can't control, just be like, it's okay, like you would to like a little kitty or like a little baby Mary. And just
Little
be like,
baby Mary.
Little baby Mary. Just be like, I'm sorry you're hurting.
Yeah.
And you're so tired. You know, like it's okay.
Yeah, you be there for yourself, you know?
Yeah.
And it sounds like you had some moments this week to really try that out.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
And it was difficult to show myself the same kind of compassion when it was something physical I was experiencing that I've experienced a lot of complications with in the past regarding other people's opinions of what I'm going through. It's easier for me to console myself when I'm going through like emotional pain. Which I feel like I might be the opposite of what a lot of people experience. But I have a very complicated past with how like all my physical problems kind of happened and came to light and stuff like that. And I always have doubts about what I'm experiencing physically. And I'm also way too good at pushing through things like pain, which is actually not a good thing.
No.
Definitely not.
Definitely not.
So it was a new challenge this week. But definitely worthwhile to keep it in mind and not be so freaking hard on myself.
Well, it sounds like you had a lot to contend with this week. In regards to your last week's self-care experiment. Did you also have a new self-care experiment? And no judgment, because that's a lot. That's a lot going on.
I did have a self-care experiment this week.
Okay.
It was a bit of a lighter one.
Okay.
But also a good one.
Yeah.
It involves the cats, our kittens.
Always fun.
Meriadak Brandybucken.
I was gonna say Terrigan Pook, but that's a weird one, huh?
That's a little different, I think.
Let's not.
What it actually is.
Peregrine Took.
Our little kitten friends are so lovely, and we love them. They're about 7 or 8.
Yeah, they're gonna be like 8 months at the end of this month.
Okay, 8 months at the end of the month.
Yeah.
So they're catadolescents.
Yeah, they're almost adults, but
almost.
Right now they're like,
but
yeah. We got them when they were tweens.
We did when they were 6 months old.
And now they're like, rebellious teens.
Yeah, and they're like, I have so much energy and so much angst. But anyway, so our wonderful kittens, I had been noticing if I was petting them and watching TV, if I was petting them and on my phone, they were kind of vocal about it, or they would literally like put their little paw on my phone and be like, what's that? What's that? What are you doing?
Yeah.
That's not paying attention to me. And I saw this great video from Katie Morton this week. If you don't know, on YouTube, she's a licensed family therapist, and she makes videos about mental health. I highly recommend you check out Katie Morton. She's great.
Nice.
And she's been doing a series about burnout. And episode, that was this week. I don't remember exactly what number. I want to say like episode 6. She had a friend who's also a doctor come in and talk about engagement and this experiment that was done with babies. Okay, bear with me for a second.
Okay.
So a while ago, there was a study done with a bunch of really small babies and their mothers. And the mothers would like put them in front of them on their knees and be bouncing them up and down, and also actively engaging with them with their faces. Like big wide smiles and coos and whatever. And in the experiment, they also had the mothers still continue to have the babies there, but to be blank, stoic faced and stop engaging with them facially. And all of the babies' reactions were the same. Like their nervous system just couldn't function. They became super uncoordinated, super distressed. When the mom did become engaged again, it took a while for the babies to readjust. It wasn't just like you're gone and you're back, but it's kind of like their brains had to rework out what they were experiencing, right? So they redid the study recently, but instead of the mothers going from being engaged to stoic, they went from being engaged to on their phones. And the reaction was exactly the same. And
interesting.
Yeah, it's all about, like back in the day, you had to be accepted by your group. You had to feel like you were a part of a community and have friends, because otherwise you'd be abandoned and you would die. That feeling has not gone away. Like our brain chemistry, like we function the same. It's an instinctive
built-in thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that hasn't gone. That feeling hasn't gone away. Even though, like, if you live in an apartment by yourself, like, hopefully you would be fine. Like, things aren't prehistoric, basically. So
right.
I was thinking about this, and at the time when I was watching this video, I had Pippin, our little tuxedo cat with a little mole, curled up in the crook of my knees on the couch with me.
He's got a little fur mole.
He's got a little fur mole.
He's got a little patch of black in his white face.
Yeah, he does. He's cute. So Pippin was lying there, and I was petting him, and he was kind of like, meh, meh. And with Pippin, I know you don't even have to touch him. Like in the morning, I wake up, and all I do is look at him, and I say, hi, Pippin. Oh, I love you. And his purr machine just boop goes right off.
Yeah.
You don't even have to touch him. Like during my skin routine, when I'm getting ready in the morning and like I don't want to put my hands all over him because I'm touching my face, all I do is just continue to talk to him and smile at him and tell him what a good boy he is. And he is just per city so happy. So I have been trying to, with the cast this week, and also being conscious with the company I am with, just really, really trying not to do the phone thing when I'm engaging with another living being. And it's been, well, the cats certainly appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, a ton.
You know, it's interesting. I feel like when cell phones were starting to become a commonplace item that everyone just had on them, there was a lot of talk about how isolated our attention was going to become, a lot of fear about that, and like legitimate concerns for people, being so self-involved.
Social skills.
And as phones have gotten more and more attention grabbing, I feel like that conversation has gotten less and less.
Oh, yeah.
Which is maybe
because it's
fitting,
the norm now, and people have adjusted.
But it's so strange to me that we all seem to have just sort of adapted this comfort with it, and it's really not comfortable.
Well, yeah, well, in
a social interaction setting.
Yeah, like if you're out having coffee with someone and they're not looking at you and they're just on your phone, even if they are responding to you, if they're not engaged, you kind of get a weird feeling, even though like mentally I dismiss it easily as, oh, I get it, I've been there, I've had to do that before,
right?
Which I have, which sucks.
And like you were saying too, with the babies having to readjust too, and
it takes time.
Well, sometimes when someone is not on their phone now but super engaged in the conversation with me, I'm a little bit like, I'm not totally sure what to do with this anymore because I'm not fully used to it.
Right, because they were on their phone, they put it down. It takes your body a second to, it almost like it doesn't take any adjustment when they're not engaged. It's just like this feeling that you can't help, which is an instinctual thing. But getting back to it is like... Yeah. I thought that was really interesting.
Totally.
The cats really appreciate it.
And I'm sure that you're getting more from the cats, too.
Oh, yeah. They're so cuddly and cute when they're not running around being little terrors.
I love how sciencey this got, too. That was cool.
Oh, yeah. So check out Katie Morton on YouTube.
For sure.
Jacob.
Yeah.
What did you do for your self-care experiment this week?
We all need to sleep. Did you know?
Yes.
And I know this. I'm aware of this, but sometimes I just don't do it. I just don't make myself the time. Make myself the time. I just don't give myself the time or the correct environment to do it properly.
Do tell.
Yeah. I mean, I have books by my bedside. I have my phone by my bedside. I have video games that I am never going to be done playing, and no agenda really. Like I just think I'll just go until I decide to stop. But then sometimes I don't decide to stop. And I have a caffeine problem too. Like I don't think about what time of day it is when I'm drinking caffeine all the time. I need to be more conscious of that.
Yeah.
So I've been trying this past week to really make the goal of my nighttime routine to get a good night's sleep, which sounds kind of like, yeah, duh. But honestly, like I just forget to do these things. So
we've talked so much about morning routines. We haven't talked a lot about nighttime routines, have we?
No, yeah. Well, you have a little bit talked about not having your phone close to you for like an hour before you plan to go to bed.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is that I don't generally plan to go to bed, which I think is a problem. Not having a bedtime has been detrimental to my health, I think, in a lot of ways. So I'm trying to have more of a set, if I can. I mean, I work nights, so sometimes this isn't possible, but if I'm at home at night, I'd like to be in bed by such and such a time, say midnight. And so if that's the case, 11:30, I'm going to put my phone down. I'm not going to look at my phone for a half an hour so that my brain is here and not everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm not going to drink caffeine 4 hours before that because that would help, right?
Yeah. I think so.
I'm not going to eat like 2 hours before that because that'll help.
Yep.
My digestive system to not be like, hey, we need more awake. And yeah, I've definitely also been trying not to read right before bed because then my brain is also racing, and that doesn't help.
Nope.
So yeah, basically, I mean, to put it shortly, to say it briefly.
There you go.
Thanks. To word it briefly, I've been trying to sleep more and to get more out of my sleep.
How has it been going?
Not great. I have a lot of really bad habits in regards to bedtime, but I'm working on it.
Yeah, we'll work on that nighttime routine with me too.
Yeah.
I need to get a new alarm clock from IKEA because mine broke. And
Oh, yeah.
I've had my phone by my bedside, and I've had a few relapses of being on my phone in bed, and I don't like it.
No. It's not good to be on your phone ever, but in bed should definitely be a space where we try to not have that be a thing.
Yeah.
I'm so bad at it too. Hey, y'all, I'm curious, y'all listening there, what are your like nighttime routine things you do to help yourself get a good night's sleep?
And
if
get
you do.
in the zone. 'Cause I think like getting in the zone for the sleep is what a nighttime routine is all about.
Yeah, get in the zone.
I might try this for next week for myself, actually.
Ooh.
You may have just given me my self-care experiment. And if you're following along, how's it going for you? I want to know.
Yeah, me too.
Community news. Welcome to our next segment, Community News, where we ask you, the listeners, to send us good things that happened to you this week. We celebrate your general awesomeness, give you a little shout out, and wow, I love this part of the podcast so much.
I do too. Yeah, it's so exciting. What's going on with you guys?
Okay. So this one I actually got from my sister Kelly today.
Ooh.
Who just moved to Seattle. Like, today is her first day there.
Heck yeah.
I think she got in last night. And she's so excited.
West Coast,
I'm
West
so
Coast.
excited. And she showed me the view off of her apartment.
Ooh.
And it's all just like trees.
Whoa.
Yeah. When she was like, hey, can I give you some good news for your podcast? I was like, sure. And she was like, I has trees. She is definitely my sister. Yeah, beautiful pine trees.
I love
it's
it.
green and lush and wonderful. And she has it right outside her window off of her porch.
That nature.
Yeah, nature. Yeah.
Right outside.
Nature. Congrats on your trees, Kelly.
Congrats on your trees.
Congrats on your trees. Congrats on your move, your apartment, all the things.
You're
things
a
are
tree
happening.
wizard.
Yeah, tree wizard. Oh, I like tree wizards.
Yeah, tree wizards.
Tree wizards.
You know.
Moving right along. We're moving right along to Facebook. This is from Jillian.
Hello.
And hi, Jill. She says, Friday is my last day of graduate school. I will have my master's MSW on Thursday, the 23rd. So a week from right meow, you're going to have your master's degree. Holy moly, what even?
Congratulations.
Jill. I remember when you started on this whole grad school journey years ago. You have busted your butt. That is huge.
For real.
So
huge.
We love you. We're so proud of you. Kick butt. All of them. You're a master wizard.
You are. You're a grandmaster wizard.
Yeah, MSW. It stands for Master Super Wizard.
Master Super Wizard.
Master Super Wizard. You have a degree in Master Super Wizardry.
Congratulations.
Yay, congratulations.
That's awesome.
That is spectacular. And while we are on the topic of grades, this is from Twitter from Katie Cornwell 97.
Hello.
Hi. And she says, I got my final grades back from this semester yesterday. 2 A's and 4 B's. I'm a senior in college now.
Yeah.
Woo! You're a wizard.
Nice. You're a great wizard.
I know. It's crazy with May happening and all the graduation semesters wrapping up. Just like everybody was like, school? Yeah, I did that. And like, two A's and
Yeah.
4 B's. You are slaying. You are killing the game. And moving on to senior year.
Congrats to you. Have fun in senior year.
Oh man, yeah, senior year, man. That brings me back.
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling removed from the academic world at this point.
We have been removed from it since May 2012.
When May rolls around now and everyone's like, graduation, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a thing, huh?
That was 7 years ago for us now.
Such a long time ago. Okay.
Wow, 7 years? I guess we've been in LA for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. So congratulations, Katie.
Hey, yeah, congrats.
Awesome grades. Way to keep kicking butt, working hard.
Keep up that good work. That's awesome.
Yes, one more year. One more year of undergrad.
Nice.
Oh, so exciting. And I have a bonus one this week. We're doing
bonus?
4 because I just really
So
wanted
much
to talk
good
about
news.
I know. I wanted to talk about my sister's trees.
Yeah.
So I made an exception.
For the trees.
Yeah, we're back to Facebook for a minute.
Facebook.
This one is from Steve.
Hello.
Steve is a friend of ours. He's a fantastic actor, very funny guy. And he had 3 auditions in 24 hours.
Whoa.
Boom.
Damn.
Crack-a-lacka.
That's a lot of work and cool. That's great.
Yeah, talk about like slaying the game. Everyone is just like, I got so many good news submissions so quickly. This was the fastest week I have ever accumulated good news.
Everything happens so much.
Everything's coming up roses. And Steve. Everything's coming up Steve.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
3 auditions in 24 hours. I've had those days, man.
For sure.
That is bananas, and you're accomplishing all the stuff.
They are fun and tiring and fun. So, yes.
Congratulations, Steve.
Congrats. You're
a
wizard.
You're an auditioning wizard.
You're an actor wizard.
We have tree wizards,
Yeah.
master super wizards, actor wizards, all the wizards today.
College wizards.
Yeah, it's a good week for wizards, Jacob.
Yeah.
Yeah, congrats to
Mary.
everybody.
Congratulations,
Yeah, everybody, and especially my sister's trees.
Good news, everyone! I have good news.
It's good news.
Yeah, this is the part of the podcast where we bring you a good news story, something that's awesome and in the news.
Yeah, and again, it's important to stay informed, but it is not good to let it consume your life to the point where you're a non-functioning human. So, Jacob, what goodness did you dig out of the depths of the interwebs for us this week?
I'm so excited for this one. It's so much fun.
Oh, I'm so glad.
All right, headline, ready?
Yeah.
For a split second, a quantum computer made history go backward.
I'm sorry.
Now, full disclosure,
What?
I don't understand any of this. I read this whole thing and I was fascinated by it, but anytime you talk about quantum physics, I don't get it.
That you're not a quantum physicist.
Like
you're not a physicist of any kind.
Like, small tangent, Schrodinger, he didn't kill his cat, right? Like, he wouldn't do that. Like, the answer is the cat's alive.
You don't know that.
But apparently, the answer is also his cat is dead.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't get it. All right, so let's break this down a little bit.
Okay.
First of all,
Yeah.
what is a quantum computer? Because I didn't know this was a thing. I'm just gonna read the definition of a quantum computer because
please do.
I don't know how to paraphrase
Lay
this.
on the science.
Unlike a regular computer which processes a series of zeros and ones or bits, quantum computers are made of so-called qubits, each of which can be 0 and 1 at the same time.
Holy whoa.
A quantum computer can perform thousands or millions of calculations simultaneously, so long as nobody looks to see what the answer is until the end.
What?
I don't know, but it's fascinating.
Yeah. Holy wow.
A team of scientists has used a public IBM quantum computer. You can access this online and do this yourself, which is also crazy. This is a small, in the grand scheme of quantum computers that exist, this is a small quantum computer. This is a 5-qubit IBM quantum computer. For reference, Google has a huge one that is like a 72-qubit quantum computer.
Of course they do.
And these experiments actually only utilized 2, sometimes 3 of the qubits. So, okay, whatever that necessarily means.
Great.
So basically, They reported earlier this year they managed to undo the aging of a single simulated elementary particle by 1/1,000,000th of a second. In their experiments with 2 qubits, it worked about 85% of the time. In their experiments with 3 qubits, it worked about 50% of the time. All this is to say that the more complex this gets, because we're talking about a single particle here,
Yeah.
the more complex this gets, the less likely that it's
gonna work.
gonna be possible
That's
for this method to work
surprising.
anyway. Which is why huge disclaimer from them is like we definitely can't unscramble a scrambled egg at this point, which I love.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
So basically, they're taking a single particle of something, of a matter, of
a simulated particle
it's a simulated particle.
in a quantum computer.
Okay, so it's a simulated particle in a quantum computer, and
Yeah.
they were able to reverse the aging on this particle by like a millionth of a second.
So what they did is a 4-step process.
Okay.
First, the qubits were teed up in a simple initial state, which apparently mimics an artificial atom, is what they call. I don't understand this. I don't get it. But that's the first step.
Okay.
So they made an artificial atom in this computer. The second thing they did, I'm gonna quote Einstein too today.
Okay,
I have a bit of
wow.
this is
Hey,
an Einstein
Al.
quote that I don't understand at all. They entangled the qubits in what Einstein calls a spooky action at a distance entanglement, meaning that whatever happens to one will affect the measurement of the others.
Okay.
Cool.
They are all connected in a way.
Sure. So the qubits, after being teed up with this initial simple state, they were tapped with a series of microwave radio pulses, which nudged them into more complexity. Cool. We can kind of follow this, right?
Yes.
Okay. At this point, a millionth of a second later,
Yeah.
this wave was halted, and another microwave pulse was initiated to reverse their phase and ready them to devolve back to their youthful states.
Okay.
At that point, the same initial microwave pulse was reinitiated,
Yeah.
but because they are now essentially engineered to move in reverse, this wave caused them to revert back to their original state 1/1,000,000th of a second before.
Whoa.
Time travel.
Whoa.
In a computer.
Simulated time travel.
Yeah.
Successful simulated time travel. If you put a million of those millionths of a second together, you would get a second.
Yeah. I mean, the caveat here is, I mean, it's really cool. It's like, whoa.
That's well, like you use the pulses to like perpetuate the state of the atom, and then you use pulses, but they're engineered to cause a reverse reaction, and then when you smack it with the initial pulse, it actually jumps it backwards. That is so cool.
Yeah, one particle was affected.
Yeah.
The caveat to this is that moving an object in reality backwards through time like that, and most objects are made of more than one particle, many more than one particle.
Yeah.
So their conclusion was it remains to be seen whether the irreversibility of time is a fundamental law of nature or whether it might be circumvented.
I didn't even think we would see successful simulated time travel
Exactly.
in our lifetime
It's nuts.
at all. Yes, I would like to say not just nuts, but bananas.
Bananas.
Wow.
Gonna put a link to that IBM quantum computer.
Yeah, if you understand quantum physics,
If you want to
at
try this
all,
yourself.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I don't know why we're doing this, but I think it's great that we are.
I think the hope, the practical use of this,
Is time travel?
no. Definitely not time travel at this point or any time in the near future. We're all just going to keep aging. Practical usage of this would be to discover reasons for and explain some of nature's paradoxes and abnormalities and to just kind of figure out what's going on in the quantum physics realm of things that we don't understand. Because the question is, this was created artificially in a computer with lots and lots and lots of little modifications, and it took that much effort pointed at one particle to make it happen. The question is, can it happen naturally? Does it happen naturally? Is it a thing?
I don't know, man.
So the study of that, I guess, is the point.
I thought that you were going to say the practical use of this is going to see if we can actually like break the progress of time.
Exactly.
The progression of time. Maybe
Well,
I just
okay,
what you were gonna say.
if we figure out how to time travel, not even how to time travel, if we figured out how to reverse time, would we have figured out how to reverse time? I mean, Schrodinger's cat's okay, right?
Oh my gosh, let's not talk about it. Schrodinger's whole situation just makes me
He wouldn't have done that to his
anxious.
cat.
You don't know Schrodinger.
The box wouldn't have done that to his cat.
Anyway, thank you for digging that and fishing it out and serving it up on a big old PositiviTea plate for us this week.
You know, something silly, but also like
Really cool.
in the most complicated science there is. So yeah.
Amazing. And on that note,
And-
thank you so much for listening to our podcast this week.
Thanks for joining us.
I feel like I feel so bright. Like I want to go explore some quantum computers on the internet and see if I can make artificial particles move back
You
a
can
millionth
do
of a
it.
second
It's
in
been
time.
it's been proven. You
Yeah,
can
and
do
if
it.
this naturally occurs in nature anywhere, what? I want to know. Go science.
Love it.
So
Gotta do it.
Jacob,
Yeah.
you have the privilege of wrapping us up with a good quote for today. So pumped, what you got?
All right, here we go.
Here we go.
Happiness is like a butterfly. The more you chase it, the more it will elude you. But if you turn your attention to other things, it will come and sit softly on your shoulder. Richard Lesser.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thanks for digging that out of the depths of the
Depths of the internet.
I love that term, maybe too much.
All right, well, this was very nice.
So nice.
Yeah, I feel better.
I feel great. Thank you for listening, for participating, for just being wonderful listeners. We're so lucky.
Yeah. Thanks for joining.
And we'll see you next Thursday.
Goodbye.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us this week on the PositiviTea podcast. If you'd like to connect with us, you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at Miss Mary Lou, at PositiviTea, TEA podcast at gmail.com. And we are also on YouTube at the Miss Mary Lou YouTube channel. Wherever you are listening to us, please give us a like, a follow, a share, and leave a nice review. We would appreciate a little bit of positivity in our lives. The logo design is by Hilda Meyer Post. The music is by my co-host, Jacob Kahn. I am your co-host, Miss Mary Lou Ryan, and I hope you have a wonderful week, and we'll see you on Thursday.